was just a couple of things I wanted to ask. First of all, it sounds very much from what you were saying that Amnesty sees the problems with the camps as one of the most fundamental issues that is facing Sri Lanka at the moment, and really almost as a starting point from which, until that's solved, very little further can be done. How important is this particular issue compared to other issues that are facing Sri Lanka at the moment, in Amnesty's view?
I think because of the immediacy of the protection concerns for people living in the camps, Amnesty sees the situation of the camps as a priority human rights issue. But in terms of the broader framework that we apply to Sri Lanka, we see the persisting climate of impunity as the fundamental problem in Sri Lanka today. As I mentioned, we have a concerted body of work on impunity. We released a report about the latest Commission of Inquiry, highlighting lack of independent investigations, lack of witness protection in Sri Lanka, and in fact, official complicity with destroying and covering up evidence inside the Commission of Inquiry. And the fact that, for example, in recent weeks, we've seen the police involved in the south in killing of suspects and no investigation. And also I might add that in the introduction, the case of Lasanta Vikramatunga was mentioned. There has been no proper investigation into his assassination, and that this is months and months after such a high-profile killing. So for us, the big issue is impunity. But as I mentioned, what's happening inside the camps, we see as illustrative of this impunity.
And the last thing really from me is Amnesty able to give a view, and you might not be in a position to be able to, but is Amnesty able to give a view as to what could be done here, in a sense? I mean, I appreciate that there's some excellent campaigns that Amnesty is involved in and that people could join in with. But does Amnesty have any view about what might be an effective way for those of us who are here to be able to try and put pressure to solve these problems?
I think one of the challenges for work on Sri Lanka is that there has been a long and brutal conflict, almost 3 decades of war. And the legacy of that war has been deep divisions within communities and a politicisation of the issues. I think what's important for everyone now is to use a human rights framework to draw attention to the violations and abuses that are now happening in Sri Lanka. It's also a moment, I mean, this is a time for the diaspora, particularly Tamils, when it's been a very, very difficult year. I mean, as I mentioned, even for us sitting in the office in London, the months of March and April were extremely difficult in terms of listening to the accounts of people. Applying a human rights framework will help give people a way of drawing these issues to the attention of a broader public, and they can use this in lobbying parliamentarians and wider constituencies. But a very specific thing that people can do, especially in the UK, is to write to their Member of Parliament and ask for more information about the UK's role in supporting reconstruction efforts, in particular how much humanitarian assistance is being given to Sri Lanka, and to raise concerns that this assistance must be given in line with international standards. There have been some good signals from the UK government that it is raising issues around freedom of movement in the camps, etc. But it's very important that the public keep up conversation and dialogue about this.
Well, thanks very much.